when Jesus responds here in the 4th verse. But he answered and said to him, man shall not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. Interesting. That quote there is from Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter, in the 3rd verse. Every one of the responses that Jesus gives to the devil is a response for when the children of Israel were also in a wilderness experience. What happens when you become a pilgrim in your wilderness experience? That time when your prayers are not answered, and the time in which you just don't think you will be able to make it. What happens when things happen in your life? Food is not satisfying or not as plentiful, or you're thirsty for something that you just don't have. I find it unbelievably surprising to me to see how individuals can go from mere unknowns to celebrity status. And in that celebrity status, they want to do something to go off and drink and get high. And so you'd think their status would be sufficient, wouldn't you? I think what happens when we get to those status places, that it is so unfulfilling, we think we need something more. I mean, with all the thousands of people of you that are listening to me today, you would think that I'd have a very big ego, wouldn't you? And you would think that it would affect me, but I'm the same guy as I always am. I don't know. See, I think it's obvious that God would not continue to have me in large congregations. Because in time, it begins to work on your head, and you forget your spirit. You start doing the church work and forget to do the Lord's work. You know the difference in doing the church work and doing the Lord's work? One's requirements of what they expect of you. One of them is, the other is a requirement for what God has called you to do. The beautiful thing about being a minister is that I am no different than you. You're called to do the same thing that I'm called to do. You just do it in a different arena than what I do. You're to do it on a daily basis. You're to live it just like I am to live it. Your calling is no different than mine, except you just get paid a different source than what I do. Then the devil took him into the holy city and stood him up on the temple, or the pinnacle of this temple, and said to him, if you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, he will give his angels charge concerning you, and your hands, they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone. And Jesus said, on the other hand, it is written, you shall not tempt the Lord your God. Does any of us have the temptation to throw ourselves off of a high place so that angels would catch us? Here, I've got a solution for you. Why don't you throw yourself down here and the angels will catch you before you get to the bottom? We don't have that temptation much, do we? See, his temptation and our temptation is quite different. His temptation is, I'm going to do it for recognition. The next thing it says, the devil took him to a high place and he showed him all of the world. And he said, here, if you bow down to me and worship me, you can have all this. Jesus says, you got to be kidding me. Begone, Satan, for it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God and serve him only. Then the devil left him. Behold, angels came and began to minister to him. I don't understand this, but I throw it to you as a question. Isn't it interesting The instances where an angel came and killed the enemy of Israel, one angel killed 185,000 people just overnight. One angel. One angel did so many things at different times in the Bible, but angels, plural, comes and minister to Jesus. Angels, plural. What did they minister to him? Yeah, you're good. You're good, man. All right, yeah. High five it. Yes. You did. You accomplished it. Yes. I don't think necessarily that, but they ministered to him and satisfied his needs spiritually and physically. Because it says when he left the wilderness, he was full of the power of the Holy Spirit. See, when you get through a temptation, a time of trial, you are going to be more strong than you were when you started it. So when something happens, this is my recommendation to you. Not necessarily that I do it, but this is my recommendation to you. When you see that a trial is going to start, go, yay, yeehaw! I'm looking forward to coming out stronger than I started. It's not saying that I do that, but I suggest you doing it. Yes, I am so excited. I've got to write this down in my journal. Today, I am so excited that I'm going to go into a trial because I know I'll be coming out stronger than I went in. Yeehaw! I can't wait. No, that's not the way it happens, is it? But the place where we really need to be most attentive is that when you are at the heights, a successful experience has happened in your life. You've got a promotion, or you got more money, or you got more time, or you got married, or you had your first 15 children. Whatever they are, whatever those highs are, you've got to realize that trial is going to come afterwards. Nobody ever told me having children would be a trial. I thought it was just going to be great. They'd clean themselves. They'd feed themselves. They'd come in at the right time. They just do everything just perfectly. Nobody ever told me there were trials. There were times when you had no idea what to do, what decision to make, how to route them or reroute them, or how to get to their heart, how to get through their head. Unbelievable. I mean, this is obvious to you, isn't it? Isn't this obvious to you? It isn't. Well, it's obvious to me. Why can't you understand it? Are you really my child? Did you get switched in a hospital? I don't know what's going on in your head. Because I'm a brilliant person. Aren't you supposed to be also brilliant? You ever got there? Without God, I don't know how you can make it. Truly, I do not know how you can make it through childhood without killing them. As perfect as our children were, they're always going to get you through that place. As perfect as Sue is. You just wonder,